Hello there, folks, and welcome back to another wonderful day of streaming. As a reminder, first, before I go into what we're doing today, for anyone who is watching the YouTube VOD, I am live every day on twitch.tv/crispy042. There's that link in the description down below as well. I go live at about 1 p.m. Eastern every day, and usually stream for like 3 to 4 hours. So feel free to stop by and say hi so we can chat about whatever. With that out of the way, we're back to more Final Fantasy XIII today. It's a linear game, so it's going to be just continuing making our way forward until we get to the one spot where it's not linear. So there's not much to say, really. At this point, the group has been thoroughly split up. It's three groups of two, but unless you've played the game before, you don't know that Fang is eventually part of the party, and that's the person that Snow's currently with. But we have Lightning and Hope making their way to Palampolum, and Vanille and Saz just kind of making their way forward. I don't think they actually know exactly where it is they're going. So I've got my game loading up. We're just going to go ahead and hop on in. Yeah, here's our little, this is what happened recently, synopsis thing that if you don't skip once it gives you the option to, will tell you just what I said. What happened recently. Alright, we saved. Spent all our points, so...
You know what to do. Stay down.
Killed that one. Now when we come over here and kill these. That wasn't quite enough. I guess I gotta get the last. Unless I can sneak in there, that's the other option.
Target's a target.
A little close, but we finished it either way, so. That one was fairly simple. All he was guarding was money. Oh boy.
Stay down. Target's a target.
Damn it!
And so it ends.
I think I lost some of the options I had with this group. Yeah. Now that I know that's gonna happen, we're also gonna do the Decepticol.
Target's a target. Stay down. Nothing personal.
Decepticol, very important to that one. And honestly, now that we have upgrades, those are still very useful things to get. I think if the enemy is here, actually do one more Decepticol.
On your toes. Nothing personal.
That was one of those where, even though it didn't show it, they were supposed to have been fighting each other.
That wasn't so bad. Hey, I think we're onto something.
that actually worked out well. I didn't need a Decepticol because I was able to get up to the thing before they became aggressive. And we get Watchman's Amulet. All that's there was Critical Veil. Oh well. Not another cutscene. I was about to say, time for another cutscene? I can only imagine that this one is going to pop. All right. Oh, she actually has Ravager fully done too. Okay. Same way. Ravager, fully done. Synergist, fully done. Working on Medic. And with as close as both of them are, there shouldn't be much more until we get done with this area and move to the next. That seems to be the process of a game like this. They just keep moving forward until some big event happens, and when that happens, all of a sudden our level up goes, our gauges go up, and we can get again closer to max level, or new max, because we're already basically at our own max.
Follow my lead, Hope. Just hang on!
Here! Yeah!
That's how it's done.
Actually. showing of them like that makes me go, something bigger might happen. Let's level up quick.
Bad luck. They came looking for us.
Still get the occasional line
and
that
found
doesn't want to
something
play.
worse.
We can't just leave them like this.
Don't touch anything! Control your emotions. If you want to survive, you forget about sympathy. How can I explain? Think of it like a strategy. Focus on your ultimate goal and shut out everything else. Still your mind. Move on instinct.
Okay.
Let doubt take over, and despair will cripple you.
Strategy good. I'll take anything that helps me get through this.
I'll call it Operation Nora.
Nora.
My mother's name.
The
Your
horrible...
revenge.
Yes. Don't tell me. I know getting revenge on him won't bring her back. I know that! But sorry won't cut it.
Snow didn't kill your mother. The Sanctum did.
Whose side are you on?
The side of truth.
Yeah.
Fine. I'll fight the Sanctum with you. I'll learn to survive.
How can you judge someone else when you know that you're the same? Even I have dark secrets.
Oh.
Secrets I'd rather forget.
You know what to do. Out of my way! Keep it up.
They're both at the point of basically being fully leveled, so... For what they can do right now.
Just another battle. Nothing personal. Out of my way! Stay down! Target's a target.
Here! Come on, Light!
Nothing personal.
There we go. Cut it a little close, but yeah, at this point, there. 13111, 16656. Yeah, that's fully done. Up. And yeah. Like I said, I knew they were basically there. So now I know I don't have to worry about Crystarium anymore. Perfect timing, just as we got to the next save spot. I didn't even realize that was coming up next when I did that.
On your toes. Keep it up. Out of my way.
Remembering to change periodically is definitely worth it.
Why do I have this feeling something bad's about to happen?
I mean, because typically that's how this stuff goes.
What's going on?
It's like a freight elevator. Boss fight.
This is it.
Huh.
Operation Nora.
Follow my lead, Hope.
And so it ends.
A heal would have been a good idea there. Jeez. I switched him to a medic. He healed himself before he healed Lightning. And she died to an AoE.
Good call. Time to switch it up. Come on, Light.
Up. Heal yourself, too.
Keep up with me, Hope.
Actually, not yin yang.
Here. Come on, Light.
Thanks. Time to switch it up.
Curing.
Come on, Light. Here.
Get some final show off.
Keep up with me, Hope.
Give him back curing.
Good call.
Here.
Time to switch it up.
Got it. Took quite a bit of time, but we got it, and we 5-starred it. Tungsten Bangle and Creature Comfort, which should be a new shop, and yeah, the Crystarium expanded that we knew was going to happen, because they have to give us more things to level to each time.
Operation Nora, Stage 1 complete.
You did well.
Well, actually, I guess before we go too far forward with stuff, yeah, I know. Also the way to smite. For him, we want level up Synergist. Just generally strengthened him up, that's fine. Let's check the shops, because there's a new one. Oh, and okay. So the creature comfort ones aren't that expensive, so leveling stuff up, if you can figure out a way to grind for Gil, isn't too bad. We'll just save now and move forward, because I think we'll be switching characters again soon. Yep.
That's it.
Palom Polum.
Hallam Polum.
That's where you live, right?
Which, a hell of a reference going with that name for the town.
We'll stop in when we get there.
No.
Because that's a reference back to
We'll
Final
see now.
Fantasy IV.
No one's there but my dad.
Hope, you need to let him know what happened.
Alright. Except now it's gonna tell us a little more story before, I think, giving us control of Saz and Vanille.
Okay, time to hunt some lassie.
So what, we find him and that's that?
Don't get all hot and bothered.
Sarah, am I doing the right thing?
Ah.
Stop him! Bring him down! Hold on!
Okay.
Jump!
Snow!
Sarah! Sarah!
Okay. Explains how she got in there.
Sarah. I went to the Foul Sea hoping to help her. But I was too late.
I knew you were hard-headed.
That was...
Snap to it. We're rolling out.
Yeah. Hunting lassie, right?
This is our chance. Do not let the lassie escape. Move out.
I will keep my promise, Lightning.
Mm-hmm. Another cutscene and then another save. And now, Saz and Vanille in whatever overgrown area this is. Sunlit Waterscape. We have a bunch of Crystarium to spend as soon as it lets us.
So, where we headed?
Dunno.
You don't know? I thought you had somewhere in mind the way you took off.
I followed the smell.
What?
Mm-hmm. Smells nice, all naturey.
Just smells damp. And I think something bit me.
Hide!
Closest city that way is Palampolam. That is not good. I wonder if those two were caught in the net.
What do we do?
What do we do? Right now, what can we do?
Right. No choice. We run the other way.
Which would be to Nautilus.
She's all
As we set
confused.
off, it was like he'd forgotten that I was still there.
Because Nautilus is away to his kid. Sort of. Alright, wow, yeah. 5,000 Crystarium to spend. Suna and Kira actually wouldn't be bad things to have. Blazing. That's another. Quake being in Saboteur is kind of weird, but that's fine. So she's got those two already done. Basically just gets to slowly work on making Ravager better. And I think for him, Commando is a hardly touched girl. We'll get his other two done as well. And Thunder and Water. Extra accessory slot. As lightning attribute to the attacks and adds water. Okay. He's not even gonna get both done. So he's just gotta finish Ravager and then can work on Commando. Alright. Yeah, there's Chapter 5 done, and the start of Chapter 6. The story of 12, and the new area.
We want to get the Nautilus. Our road's through here. First things first, we need to clear these bullets.
Alright, I should also, let's see. Start with Saboteur Synergist.
There's a sight I didn't want to see.
not the thing I wanted. Just cancel save for now. Haha! Looks like we have managed to get all of the weapons so far, though. Oh, I didn't actually save, did I? Saving would probably be a good idea. Okay.
Go, girl! Vanille!
Follow my lead, Pops. And done. Come on, man.
Okay. I needed to do that heal quick.
Take that.
The old man still got it.
Okay, considering... I think we may actually be better with that setup.
All this dampness, damn.
Oddball.
Way to go, Saz. Well, that wasn't scary at all.
They tend to...
Well, I guess this is better than homicidal scorpion robots and mountains of trash.
I mean... Yeah, you're probably not wrong. Okay, if you're going that way, then we want to go this way first.
No, this place would make a nice picnic spot. Mine is only
You're gonna regret this. And done.
Alright, come on. And now, for the stun. Stun, stagger, same difference for this game.
Where's the weed killer
Oh,
when you need it?
no, he doesn't know where he's going. So when he ran up that way, I should have gone that way too. again. These things are easy to stagger. So I realized the Commando Ravager setup was probably going to be better now. He missed quite a few attacks there. Because those things just died so easily. But no. Why did you come back across? Huh.
Just a little quiet for a minute, okay? For all we know, they could be soldiers
And even when I don't have a stun stagger currently, it's not like it's hard to get them staggered. One more full volley should finish this off.
Yes!
Alright. Oh, perfect timing. Did get a second one for him, but I guess I missed one somewhere or something. Hedgehogs, which are fully done. This is 65 and 121. And if I do Belladonna, I get a few less magic, but improved debuffing. And we'll stick with the current one for now. Alright, 6, 5, 9, 4, 1. Yeah. His Ravager is done, so now he's just working on Commando. Let's go ahead, save here, and then we'll use this spot to go ahead and take a short break. So to use this time, as always, stand up, stretch, refresh your drink, use the restroom, whatever. And we'll be back in just a few moments to continue on for another bit. So see you guys then. Alright, folks, I am back. Got caught into a little bit of a conversation there, but we are good, though camera is a little fuzzy and not wanting to fix itself, so let me... This might take a second. Shoot, I gotta do this, because 2 monitors means that a lot of times the freaking camera thing does not want to work the right way. There we go. And I have to switch a monitor from one display to another. Alright, so we are back to good there. Get all of this good, and let's get back into the game. Damn it, they saw me. Oh well. I kind of knew that was gonna... had a feeling that was gonna happen. I tried, but... Probably should have checked. I think we actually had all of their information already. Oh well.
Holding up, kiddo.
Damn it. I know we have all of these guys' information. Oh, I keep forgetting. I gave Saz another accessory.
Great. Here's the bumper crop.
Yeah, the fact that there's not data means that I wasted that thing. Oh well. Three. Ugh.
Way to go, Sam!
At least he got his attacks off. Helps keep me from losing some effort on the stagger. Oh. let's do this. Let's give him the tungsten bangle there, and then actually here, the star pendant might actually be useful. Slight reduction to magic ability does actually kind of hurt, doesn't it? I don't know. Alright. I was right with the 2 on that last one. Yes, we want to make the turn.
You're gonna regret this.
Go again. Lost a little timing on it, but that's fine. Coming down here for this. A doctor's code. I mean, if I was using potions more, it probably would come in handy.
Should be a dock on the other side of these trees.
Hey, Sass. Tell me about yourself.
Huh?
Any family?
I have a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you're married.
I was, yeah.
We gotta get you home. Your son needs you. Come on, we'll make it.
It's too late.
Is it the Lassie thing?
How'd you...
Oh.
Might be a Lassie, but you're still a daddy.
No, that's not what he was thinking you meant.
You're right.
The little boy turned into a sea as well. So what's his name? Since the audio didn't want to play there. Big roly-poly dog.
Huh? Hey, Dad.
Dodge. That's right.
Making a wish, huh? What'd you wish for?
Well, he had already been turned to a sea as well, hadn't he? Hence the wrapping on the
never
hand.
have. You never smile.
So here's what I wished. I wish that you'd cheer up and be like your old self again.
Aww.
How about that?
Whoa.
Your wish came true.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, it's my turn to wish.
What for, Dad?
It's a secret.
That's my little secret.
Yep. Of course we know. I wish that, you know, everything would turn out okay for Daj.
Saz,
Huh?
you alright?
Oh, yeah.
Except it won't, unfortunately.
Come on, Pop.
It's probably the
You really
one
got
of the
to keep it together, okay?
saddest parts of this game.
Now, let's go.
Now I got kids looking out for me.
Saz and his poor
Some
kid.
dad I am.
Oh. Oh, yeah, here's the... A powerful scale beast awaits you ahead. It could be difficult to fight for only 2 people. However, this enemy is slow on its feet, meaning you can easily avoid the encounter if you so desire. You will face many harrowing challenges as you press on. When you feel your enemies may be too strong, avoid them.
Would you look at that view?
Alright, surprised there wasn't also a 13 days thing, because that should have been... part of that, but whatever. There's avoiding the fights, and then there's guaranteeing the staggers. So I guess even with the guaranteed staggers, you do not do the damage you need to do. Huh.
Change is good, Pops.
I appreciate it.
Keep on moving.
Nice timing. Take that.
Phew.
There we go. Should have done that first. Now we learned one little secret towards facing them and making them a little easier.
Know someone who'd love to be seeing all of this.
Thanks, Ass. Take that.
Phew.
Yeah, we are doing much better having learned how and when to apply the debuffs. Oh yeah. You learn how to do the fight and it becomes a heck of a lot simpler. Again, I can avoid fights, but...
Keep up, old man. Take that.
Phew.
Alright. Slight moment of cure is well worth it. Now we're about to get the stagger off again. And we should get it killed in the stagger. No, this is not chapter 11. This is me doing the stupid thing and taking these things on in chapter 6 when you're taught to avoid them. But if you know what you're doing, you can still 5-star them. It just takes a while to do each of the fights. Oh yeah. Like I said, like I just said, it takes a little bit of knowing what to do and a little bit of timing how you run into them. So like, for one, you get the stagger off. Like this right away. And then, once you get the stagger off, you immediately turn into that tide turner paradigm. I could understand that. But yeah, these things, once they go shell down, you can hit them with the debuffs. And then you just wait for Saz to strengthen himself up and go in. It takes some time, but... I do need to switch to War and Peace quick, because if I don't heal... Oh yeah. But yeah. Outside of keeping your health up, because that will kill you if you're not careful. Yeah, I can understand that. But yeah, this one is at least... This game in particular, thought and strategy is sort of the thing that helps make it work for a lot of the fights. You can eventually, like when you get to chapter 11 and you're at in Pulse, at that point you can grind up and go full monkey brain into everything else. But this one definitely has some points where if you just take a moment and learn, kind of play around with some stuff and learn some things on the strategy, it speeds up and makes a lot of rough fights much more doable. I'm convinced if you want to learn how to speedrun Final Fantasy and get a better idea for how a lot of different things go, this game can teach you some basics of how like debuff strategies can work. Because I used to be the same thing. I loved Final Fantasy games for their story, and because they were games you can grind, I didn't worry about the strategy in them for fights, because I didn't feel like I knew I was never gonna like speed run or anything like that. But probably the biggest strategy brain moment is maybe I gotta get a little further back so they don't see me. Are they not gonna turn around? Screw it. Yeah, no, Pokemon type matchups are a different beast that, yeah, that they take a lot of time of, kind of playing and remembering. Though, the later games... Oh yeah, no, Pokemon is a lot simpler than Final Fantasy. But I will give that Pokemon,
I'm tougher than you thought.
the early games are rough with the matchups. The later games, they just like, we understand our kind of large chart of like 18 different or 20, however many different types there are. And what is weak and what is strong might be confusing. And the systems are more capable now, so we can give you a thing that let you know, hey, use this ability against this against the creature you're currently facing. It'll be more effective. And like, in a way, Final Fantasy has a similar thing, because besides the auto combat taking care of it in this game, if I wanted to, because I've faced the thing before, I just bring this up and go, okay, I need to do fire, lightning, and wind attacks. Those are the things that are gonna damage these the most. Final Fantasy doesn't have that kind of type matching thing, really. So it breaks down more to having to learn each individual creature. Though Area does a good job sometimes of giving you clues, at least. And then they do follow certain things, like most creatures that are kind of not so much flying creatures, but at least bird creatures, unless they have an electric kind of element that you can see to them, in this game, tend to have lightning, you know, using whatever lightning element spell you have against them being extra effective. I should switch to healer quick, because I think if I don't, I might have a problem.
For you! Keep it together, Pops! Change is good, Pops!
Honestly, the two things for this Final Fantasy in particular to learn was one, that you can one button press to have early access to whatever you set up in your chain, because sometimes you don't need to wait for a full chain to start your attack. Occasionally, it's just auto makes things simpler and lets me turn my brain off for some of the fights. Oh, I should have used my Crystarium points, I think. I forget if there's a fight here. It's dependent for me. Not autoing is dependent on some of what is there. I'll usually like look up at the auto and be like, oh, you're just doing regular attack. Might be better. Let me instead choose, because I know I've got Fyra, which they're all grouped together. So if I throw that in, it'll hit better, kind of thing. But it varies. A lot of times the auto is just worth it.
I mean, look. Even I'm kind of worried.
Especially in the early game. When it gets a little later, when you get to the 4 or 5 bar, ATP bars, then being able to choose is a lot easier.
You know?
It can, depending on what you're doing.
City of Dreams.
Like, in the Tide Turner, it probably would have been better, yeah, doing the buffing and debuffing stuff. Honestly, that is the only real downside to this game, that as opposed to it's in fire and in water, EN, and then the element. Yeah. Yeah, I literally just got to those ones. There's the Nautilus, which is the big casino thing. And it is just her. Yeah, I definitely... The items in Gil is annoying in this game for their limitations. But it's... The Gil is just limited. It is really the problem on that. Because they went a little bit more...
You scared me.
Realistic almost in the world.
What's up?
Killing a creature is not going to drop Gil in most cases.
I'm just thinking.
And most soldiers probably aren't going to go to battle with their wallet on them. So things not dropping Gil kind of makes sense in a game. And the items, the only thing they don't, like, your standard items are your standard items. This game did rely heavily on, we are the 13th Final Fantasy game. If you are picking this up, you probably know what most of our items do already. And the stuff that's new gives a little bit of an example. In that, like, Deceptisol does at least explain to you that it hides you from creatures, and the Aegisol and stuff kind of explains. Technically, yes. This was the first Final Fantasy for PS3 and 360.
Hey, what's wrong?
Which, especially being the first one on Xbox, it does make it a weird choice not to put that stuff out there, because
You're not hurt, are you?
Final Fantasy was Nintendo and Sony for the longest time until it was
Apparently, those
slightly put on other things.
Tried to attack the sanctum of Fal'Cie. It did the only thing it could, and gave
Yeah.
damage to the sea to protect it.
I mean, most of them they didn't. Because even like 15 and 16 sort of do.
Dodges enemies. Psychom showed up right after that to take custody of him. Then
It's also, I think, the fact that, like, at least certain basic items have been in so many games
Maybe it was
that,
for
like,
Post
at least with 15
Maybe it was killer.
and stuff, and even this,
Either way,
potion and antidote
how
and
could
stuff
Kid
like
even
that,
stand a chance?
you don't have to do a huge explanation for a lot of them.
After he was made LC,
Um,
Dodge had some way of sensing things from Pulse. He
there
was the
is
one
a
who found
little
Pulse
bit
Pulse
of,
C.
I think, explanation
But
to
the kid
some
can't
of it,
fight.
though.
So, that's why I put myself on the train to Purgeville. I figured his
Here's
focus had to have
Saz's
something
little
to do with
story.
destroying that Pulse Falsi.
This was also this game pulled a Destiny. I think is the best way I can explain it.
He's probably a crystal already.
Your story isn't
course.
in
If he was supposed to
your
be
story
like
and
that,
stuff isn't in the
see,
main game. It's in the
or he's a Sith.
Die? Really?
it's all in like text stuff. Yeah, the data log is a huge part of this game if you want to know a lot of what's
Bird.
about the game.
The bird says no.
Saz and his little choco chick. But like, let's see. Obviously, I don't read it in here, but I at least click on them because I hate seeing exclamation points. So I don't read through them in this stream because it would double the length of the stream if we were going through all of them, but I at least click on them quick. So one, I have the VOD videos, so they are up for a second. Not that I give time for people to pause, but I also hate seeing like I said, seeing a mark when I go into the item that tells me there's something there to pay attention to, and my monkey brain goes, pay attention to it. But like, I'll give like, so this, the potion, besides the fact that potions have been in everything, most Final Fantasy games, it is this. It just says restores a small amount of HP to allies. It doesn't thing. Like, this stuff can be confusing, but it explains the spells. Oh, you're talking about... So, it depends on what you're talking about. Because obviously the weapons themselves give you certain things. Though the stagger maintenance, you could probably figure out. And improve debuffing. If you're talking the upgrade system... Yeah, it has a very small explanation in the data logs here. In this one, it tells this tells you you've got the upgrades, and then when you go further, it explains you use the items to level them up. It gives you the quick that you can get the XP. Yeah. It gives you this little thing about, hey, there's some items will level up and some items will take away that, and then when they get to a certain level, they'll star, which that doesn't give a good show. But surprisingly enough, that actually is, while they don't explain it, it's fairly straightforward. And I can actually kind of show in here. So anything with the three marks like this, that I basically look at like bones. Those are organic stuff. The organic stuff is what ups the multiplier. And then the mechanical stuff, the stuff with the screw next to it, is what drops it back down. So while you'll never be able to be 100% perfect without like a guide to sit there and give you a perfect set through, you can basically just come in and it's like, okay, I've got 9 of these, let's do this. Oh, look, that upped it to ×2. Let's use the 9 of these. That didn't quite do it yet, so let's use the 7 of those. And just kind of go through using until you get the ×3. And then switch over to your mechanical. And that's effectively what you want to do when it comes to this. Like, hell, even using that little bit of mechanical dropped them back down to 2, so... We can just do that quick. And leave this until I get more of the other parts. But even then, upgrading different things doesn't really matter in this game. If you really want to upgrade the gear, you can do a little bit whilst playing, but it's probably best to wait until you're on Pulse anyway, because that's the point where you can actually start trying to grind for all of that stuff. There is no real grinding in this game to get anything until you get to Pulse. This game is entirely linear until then.
All right, then. What is that? A device that makes bad weather.
No, this is the mechanic that's been in the occasional game. Comes into the occasional Final Fantasy now of, let's give you a thing to switch the weather, because you're going to need to switch the weather back and forth to advance through this area. And enemies change dependent on what weather you choose. So this was a combination. This had a combination. I don't know if there was any like you need to worry about it for getting through certain places. But it was I should have made sure to get him. Yeah, the big part of it was to let you control fights. Like, this is a pretty nasty enemy, so had I switched it back, I would have had the gremlins instead. And it's like here, you can see the 3 of those with the scale beast. So I can hit this. And now it's Flans in both areas. Which honestly, the Flans are a little easier enemy to deal with.
Now, if we regulate the weather, we might be able to control these nasty critters.
And there's Saz even telling you the whole point of it. But I'll say I have played basically every Final Fantasy. Outside of Final Fantasy XI, because at the time I wasn't gonna put money into another MMO. Like I already had when I was playing, and Final Fantasy XIV, I've touched a little bit, but I definitely haven't gotten that too far into. And similar idea, I am not going to pay for an MMO anymore. I don't like subscription service games. I think it is, sort of a scam, in a way. There are other ways to get people to play for them. Not bad. Yeah, Crisis Core was fun. Though, since you've played Crisis Core, I do recommend playing 7 at some point, because Crisis Core is a sequel to that game, and, well, 7 is just well worth a playthrough. 10 was a good game. 10-2, not so much. Tactics, is a very different style game. I can understand that. I mean, you have to remember, 7 is a PS1 game. So graphics were limited at that time. But, while the whole story isn't out yet, mind you, you need a PS5. Yeah, it was, I think, 99. But yeah, while the whole remake isn't done yet, you do have, the FF7 remake and Rebirth, the first 2 parts of that, that can get you a lot of it. I will say, so 1 through 6 have the pixel remasters. So they're no, Nomura was part of 7 originally as well. Nomura's been a big part of Square and Final Fantasy for a long time. The 7 remakes, according to them, though, is more of, again, it's hard to say on Kingdom Hearts, because they had to shift their original plans for that game. The reason Sora looks the way he does is when they were first making that game, it was planned that you would play as Donald. Or not Donald, as Mickey. But Disney said no in the midst of development. You say that, but that is Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is entirely... It is all filler games. That is every Kingdom Hearts game. They're all... I have this big quest I'm doing, but let me kind of work towards that, but really just work towards helping this world. And in the process of doing that, hey, look, I made another step towards my goal. Well, but Union Cross and Dark Road were mobile prequel games to give people background story to the world. So it makes sense that they would be heavily focused on story. I mean, you could say that, but really all they did, the only connection those games had to Kingdom Hearts 3 was when you were doing the big attack against it wasn't the final 5 minutes of Kingdom Hearts 3, it was when you do the attack against the big abyss and you've got all the Keyblades from the past coming through. That was the main connection, and the fact that they brought Chirithy in to the final worlds, and the end credits, but that was also the end credits was that cut scene with the foretellers was, hey, we did this thing, and that cutscene and that was honestly more of a, we've hit this point, we've finished this story with Xehanort and brought these characters in because that's where we want to take the next part of the story to. We finished the Light and Darkness, or the whole Dark Heart saga Light and Darkness saga that they had. Yeah, well, if I remember correctly too, it's not just Xehanort. I mean, obviously there's also, what was his name? The Aragus. It was Xehanort and Aragus for Dark Road. But it's also in the end of Union Cross, you had some of the other members of Organization 13 show up there. Whereas, I mean, I can understand, like, I don't blame Nomura for some of that stuff. A lot of those restrictions, I think, are more on Disney's end. I feel that while Kingdom Hearts 3 gave Nomura a bit more control, Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3, and a lot of the side games, because of their connection to Disney, Disney had a lot of say in, these are the worlds you're allowed to use, and this is what you're allowed to do in those worlds. Which is why I think a lot of the games have that big filler feel. Because you're just stuck with what Disney would allow them to do. Which is why I do have high hopes for 4, because 4 looks like they may finally be pulling away from as much Disney. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's still gonna be Disney stuff in there. But it looks like we may get more Final Fantasy and other things in there, which would be nice. It does. So actually, I'm gonna have to take a break here to run some ads quick, but the other thing with The World Ends With You, besides the fact that it was in Dream Drop Distance for a little bit, there was a point supposedly when they were first working on The World Ends With You on the DS that was supposed to be a Kingdom Hearts game, but due to one reason or another they were forced they were told they weren't allowed to do aspects of what they were looking to do for the game, so they shifted it to its own IP. Yeah, it was a video I saw on YouTube. It was a guy going through what is the correct order to play through the Final Fantasy games if you're going through release order. And he went into all of this stuff and found out that, yeah, the World Ends With You DS game, at least, was originally planned as a Kingdom Hearts game. But the mechanics and some of the aspects of what you were doing, Disney was like, we don't want this connected to something that's connected to our IPs right now. Mind you, I will give Disney's lightened up on a lot of stuff, so we may get a lot more, see a lot more opening things on stuff. But as I said, I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick break to run some ads, and same thing, maybe double check and refill drinks myself, and we'll be back in just a few moments. So, see you guys then. All right, I am back. Thank you for that follow. Is it Kebescu? Kebeski. I'm not sure how you pronounce your name. I know we've been talking a bit, but I usually try to at least be somewhat accurate with it. Let me go ahead and get back into playing the game, and we'll kind of continue the conversation here. But yeah, where I wanted to kind of go with some stuff. Let me double check where I'm trying to move to. Let's see if I can do this. I usually, when it comes to the Kingdom Hearts games, I've always enjoyed them more for just what they are I guess. I know Nomura has been... Well, let's say blamed for a lot of issues, honestly. Game design is unfortunately very, very rough. Game design and game development. And sometimes aspects of things are kind of out of your control. And it is something that needs to be kept in mind, that games turn out the way they do because somewhere else, corporate-wise, a decision is made that messes things up for you. And I mean, sometimes it's the developer's fault. They want to try something different. Like, I guess Final Fantasy is the easier one for me to go through examples of, since I'm playing Final Fantasy. You can see through even the early Final Fantasies where they were trying things and testing things to figure out what they wanted to do with the series. And some of it was limitation of the early hardware, you know. Final Fantasies 1, 2, and 3 were on the NES, so... While for the time the NES was impressive, it is not, you know, all that powerful and have all that much space on their cartridges, so it's not like people could, they knew they could do a lot with what's available to them space-wise. So they had to finagle things around. But Final Fantasy 1, very great gameplay, and while there was story there, it was a very basic, very, like, early D&D-esque story. Final Fantasy II leaned more into the story, but they fucked the level progression. Oh, you are... So even if you do this, you are screwed on that side of things. Okay. Let's use a Decepticol. Nope, I could not get around that fight. Okay. wanted to do this fight slightly different, but that's fine. But yeah, Final Fantasies, like Final Fantasy 1 through 6 is well worth the play. They are old school games, but still well worth the play. And you can see, if you play from 1 through 6, you can see a growth in understanding and development that happened with those games. And then, even with 7, like, 7 continues that growth. I know you, there's a level for some people where 7's 3D graphics are rough to deal with, but it's still, it's worth trying to get past the look of the game to play. There's a really good story and really good mechanics there. Final Fantasy VIII is another one. It is a game you play for the story. 8 was one that threw me off for the longest time because of the shift they did with the mechanics. I understand the design point on 8. Of they were trying something new, and like 8 is where you can start to see they're like, we want to shift to something different with these games. Which is cool. I think it unfortunately did have negative impact in the long run. That's why 9 kind of shifted the way it did. Plus, supposed how the development for 7, 8, and 9 time-wise went can also explain a lot for some of those issues. Um, 10 was a fun game. I will say, when 10 first came out for me, when 10 first came out, and I tried it, I actually struggled, playing through 10. Cause it was too linear for me. Welcome back. I just going over quick, some stuff. I wanted to thank you for your follow there. How do you say your name? I'm not sure if is it Quebesque or Quebec? Like, I'm not sure the specific. I do like to try to pronounce people's names the way they want them pronounced. Quebesque? Okay. Okay. I'll try to remember that. But what I was talking about just now was sort of the fact that a lot of the negative side to development things is not entirely the fault of the developers. And it lies in some ways on the hands and heads of the the higher ups, who, in some cases, because of partnership deals and stuff like that, like with Kingdom Hearts, have to tell the development team, that idea sounds cool, we're gonna put it on the side. And it's not just Japan, it is everywhere that this is an issue. Because as much as video games are about making these cool things, there is a big part of... Video games are still an industry. Well, so technically, it just got shifted. Final Fantasy XIII Versus ended up becoming Final Fantasy XV, and that's in a way sort of what a similar concept. It's, you know, this game came out and people were a little kind of on it. For one, it is much more forced linear than previous Final Fantasies, except for for 10. Final Fantasy X was the only other game that was this linear, but people ignore the linear because of how the story is told throughout the gameplay. And yeah, this one has the problem of there's an amazing story in this game, and you get to see incredible character development and everything in there when you look, but you have to use the data log to truly get the whole story. And the fact that the story is put behind that data log is annoying. There's also a level 2 of the story in this game. Like, I'm trying to think of the right way to put it. Like, there were so many aspects of this game that when you put the time into it, you can see where they actually put it. But it is so pulled back. You don't get to really see. You have to go searching for it all. And like I said, even this, like, the linear feel of this game was done with a purpose. Just like it was done in Final Fantasy X. But because of the separation of the characters on top of that, I think it just makes it make less sense to most people. There was definitely a want to give people wanting to get all of the characters a chance to shine before you hit the spot where things opened up. But even then, I think the fact that when the game opens up, it's not like it's opened up to where, okay, I can now go back to any existing point in the game. And do things. It's just, you're now in this big open field that you can run around and things respawn in. I've only played a little bit of 13-2, and I've never played Lightning Returns myself. X2 was rough. I will give you that. Though, a lot of it you have to look at it in different ways. X2 was a very rough game. And it does. X2 very much just feels like a cash grab. It's, we are going to do this Charlie's Angel love redemption storyline because X was an amazing game that everybody loved. And we want to... We need an influx of income here quick. That's what X feels like, and it just doesn't do great things for it. Yeah, Post Yevon as a world was great. It's just they could have done a better story for X2. It really just kind of... X2 takes away from Yuna. It takes away from Yuna as a character. Because she goes from having been what she was to now just a spoiled teen who is trying to look for the, who's on this weird romantic quest. At least that's what it feels like, I should say. And it wasn't a bad game in some ways. The Charlie's Angel-esque dress sphere did annoy me a little. Yeah, and that's why it doesn't, it's not so bad, because, yeah, here she is as this thing, but look at the main story. She didn't get to have that adolescence moment. But, well, it's also... While that story is an interesting concept, it's hard to tell it right. And yeah, the class system with the dress spheres... Class systems can be really good. They've done some amazing class systems in Final Fantasy. But... I'll say this. 10-2 partially felt like a test bed for this game.
That's not good.
What do we do?
All right.
And the paradigm system that this game uses.
Right.
Because that was the whole, being able to switch your classes for your characters mid-fight was a big part of this. Is a big part of this and a big part of that. And honestly, that may be more of what it was, is we don't really have much of a story here that we can think of to do, but we have these characters, and it would be nice to use them to test and see how changing classes in the midst of combat feels. Yeah, the prequel would have been, could have been more interesting, but they wouldn't have been able to do certain things if they'd done it as a prequel. the whole point of the sequel is the fact that they wanted to test some stuff, and the dress sphere system in a prequel wouldn't have worked. Because there would have been the question of where did all those spheres go? Oh yeah, no, testing stuff, you want studios to test stuff. If studios don't test concepts for games, you just end up with games getting stale. Uh-oh. Oh.
I appreciate it.
Oh, this is not going to be good now.
I appreciate it.
I'm going to need to switch to heals in a second. Or... that was not the heal which I wanted. There we go. Oh. I am glad that they will kill each other. There is rumors that they're now working on a 10-3, but I don't know if I'd have high hopes for that. Yeah, Golden Sun could be interesting. But again, we'll probably never see that. But I will say, I have always said this. I think all the Final Fantasy games are well worth a playthrough. If you ever get a chance. I'll say, 6 is really good. Like, 6 being the last of the NES, SNES era, the sprites, the sprite area. 6 was the best one. It had the most, when it came to an incredible story and interesting characters and everything for what you could do with sprites and the limitations to those times. 8 is a great story that's muddled by a combat system that could have been better. because they did a big shift to the combat system for 8. And it definitely messed a few things up. Because you had, with Final Fantasy VIII, they got rid of magic being, spells and stuff you learn, and they became items you use that you draw from, enemies in certain spots in the world. But they did that for this whole junction system that they were using in the game. So, like, there was a reason behind it, but it was very rough, and jarring for people who had been playing Final Fantasy games for a while. Whereas 9 went back to, the basics, when it came to Final Fantasy. They are both very good games, and I do recommend a playthrough if you get the ability to. I wouldn't put either of them amongst my favorites, but they definitely have some good spots. Like I said, 6 is definitely up there in the favorites. 7 is a hard one for me to place as a, like, favorite, because it's one of those... Like, for me, 6 and 7 were the first Final Fantasies I ever played. So they end up being near the top, but I understand that 7...
There's a hole anywhere in this vent.
Comparatively, 7 cashed on a lot of things to be what it was. Oh yeah. And I kind of want to say that, 6 didn't have a huge amount of remakes, and in general, I would say the Pixel remasters did a really good job of giving us a updated version of all of those games to play without, like, really changing a lot of aspects of the originals. So the Pixels are definitely a well worth playthrough. The Pixel remasters. Because, like, Final Fantasy I has had several remakes, and they go back and forth between a couple of things. The Pixel remaster stays with the one big aspect of the original, which was instead of having MP like you do in most Final Fantasy games for casting your spells, you have spell slots. So you can only have 3 level 1 spells, 3 level 2, 3 level 3, and as you level up, each of those levels you can only cast a spell of that level so many times, before you run out of those slots to cast first level spells with. And it maxes out at 9 for each of them, which is... Some versions have kept the slots but let them go up a lot higher. Some switched over to MP and using MP costs. But using that old school system is perfectly fine, and they limit it to 9 for each level for the Black Mage and White Mage, who are the strongest spellcasters, which is perfectly fine. Though they did, at least with the Pixel remaster, change one of the early difficulty things that was really only a difficulty thing because they didn't know how to program it otherwise with the limitations of the NES console. And that's the fact that if you went into a combat with 3 enemies, and the way combat worked in Final Fantasy I, you chose all your actions, and then combat happened.
I'll be fine.
Oh, 6 would be SNES. And 6 is not like this. 6 has a great system to it. It uses the ATB bar, which that got introduced in Final Fantasy IV. So you have a bar that fills up to choose your actions. It has what I honestly would consider the precursor to the materia that's in 7. You have Magicite in 6. That is basically the remains of the... what did they call them? Espers. Espers are the summons in 6. And Magicite is effectively, when an Esper is about to die, they get condensed into this stone. And people who have the ability to can carry a specific stone and learn and use magic from them, and while they're carrying that stone, summon a version of that Esper to do a big attack. It is a very great game, and the Pixel Remaster for 6 is a great recreation of that game. 6 has never really had a big change in any of its remakes that I can think of. Outside of, there were certain little just glitches in the program where, like, I think even in 6, the blind debuff didn't work. And, like, it was like little programming perks that I don't know if they ever really changed with the Pixel Remaster.
Well, if it isn't, we'll make it run.
The only reason for playing, like, for emulating the SNES version is Pixel Remaster.
The Sanctum's gotta pay too.
They've updated the fonts, so they're a little better now, but there is a whole font side, graphic side of things that the old ones kind of bled together better. But it's also, if you're wanting to speedrun, there's a difference for how randomization for a lot of things were done on the NES and SNES versus how they're done now, and especially with, like, the Pixel Remaster. To where on the SNES you can look it up and there's basically a solved step pattern that you can do for minimizing encounters and things like that for speedrunning the game if you wanted to. Though,
no more rivalries now.
I really don't recommend speedrunning a first playthrough of a game. I recommend playing a game and seeing how you enjoy it and then deciding if you want to put the effort into researching and speedrunning a game. I just can't do it after having spent a year being a QA tester at EA. And specifically, having QA tested Superman Returns. That sucked the fun out of what can be fun from speedrunning games. Alright, let's get these cleared out so that way I don't have to worry about that. Oh, that's not. I also want to use their Crystarium because they are leveled up now as well on that. I start with Commando. Almost finished her Commando class, not bad. For him, it's Synergist. He gets the protection spells. Alright. Always love when you come in and basically get to fully level a class right at start. Alright, what's new in here? holy water, so curse is gonna probably be a thing we're gonna have to worry about. Now we can buy the star pendant, not that I care about that. And this was, yeah, some more of the inorganic components for leveling up weapons. Head over this way. Is there something over here I need to... No. Alright.
The way into the tunnels is over there.
Aw, damn it, they turned around. I was hoping to sneak attack them. Actually, I was about to say, I think... It wasn't quite enough to kill both of them, but
Easy.
it was worth the early go. But yes, 6 is really good. The pixel remasters are good. 9 I enjoyed. And like I said, I recommend if you ever get a chance. They're all worth a playthrough at some point. But everyone will give you different for like which ones to really play. I can guarantee that. If you like Souls-esque games, I would also highly recommend playing through 16. 16 was an incredible game for like an updated version that's more of like an action style game and had a very Souls-esque feel to a lot of parts of it. And it's another one kind of like this where there is a story there, but unlike this one where you need to go the data logs to fully get the story for 6, or for 16, I mean. 16's story is hidden in its side quests. I highly recommend that game. You go through, you get through story, and then before you do the next bit of story, you check and do every side quest that's available to you. 'And then you go back to story. That is the best way to get through 16 as a game. 15 was probably the roughest one, I think, out of games, because it was... or out of the Final Fantasy game. 15 and 8 are the two that are weirdest for me as Final Fantasy games. 8 because of the junction system and everything. 15 because it felt less like your standard kind of Final Fantasy and was much more of just a brocation. Like, it boiled down to one of the bros is getting married, so we're gonna go on a road trip for his bachelor party. That ended up becoming much more than that. If you like Golden Sun, then in general, I think you might enjoy any of the pixel remasters. Yeah, I mean, there's not as much of the overworld stuff. I do also recommend, if you're just a fan of kind of, if you like sort of classic JRPGs, I don't know if, there's rumors that the first one will be coming to Switch as well, but I recommend Octopath Traveler, because this game is these two games are really interesting for kind of the puzzle, some of the puzzles in their combat, and are a very interesting story to play through. And then the second one came out on Switch, but the first one was a the first one and its 1.5 were DS. It's Bravely Default. Like I said, Bravely Default 2 is the only one on the Switch right now. There's rumors they're looking at putting the first Bravely Default on the Switch as well, which would be incredible. And Bravely Second, unfortunately, was not as good. But they're also, because both of them put a twist on the combat system.
Watch my back.
That was really cool with the whole Brave Points system. They are an interesting JRPG. And I have a friend who really loves the Dragon Quest series, which I know is another good series. I haven't gotten a chance to really sit down and play them myself, but apparently Dragon Quest III is getting... Oh, I was not paying attention because I was talking. VN1 OSS. I don't remember that Battle Network game. I think I've heard it's one of those I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't. It's been long enough. I don't know enough on it. This is gonna be nice. Though I will say that too, if you get a chance, then if you like them, oh, that's right. No, yes, that's the DS one that combines with Star Force. Yes. As soon as you said that, I knew what you were talking about. Actually, if you get a chance, then if you haven't, I would pick up the Battle Network Legacy Collection.
Keep up with me, Hope.
Here.
Good call.
Here. Come on, Light.
Damn, that just kills you if you don't get that. Yeah. Well, Battle Network is rough because you have Battle Network 1 and Battle Network 2 were fine. They were single games. Battle Network 3 through 6 got the Pokemon treatment. I know what I need to do to have a better chance, and I actually should have done it.
Keep up with me, Hope. Thanks.
Well, you had white and blue. I forget the names of each of the other ones, but they each had like that whole setup. Oh no, not her as the. Need him as the healer.
Here.
And so
Yeah, Red Sun and Blue Moon. White and Blue, Sun and the Red Sun, Blue Moon. Team Proto and Team Colonel. And then yeah, I forget the last two for the Super Beasts. But yeah, they are really good games. They are definitely well worth it. I don't have to do this fight, but there's a part of me that just wants to beat this thing.
Good call.
Here.
I mean, they were in a way, but unfortunately they still also had their general limitation because there was like hey, for once he targeted something different, so.
Time to switch it up.
Oh wait, why is that's not dual caster? I want a dual caster.
Keep up with me, Hope.
There we go. Finally got the luck for him to target Hope with the Gatling, which let us actually beat him.
That's how it's done.
Like I said, not that I ever had to. After the first defeat, I could have just ran past that point and never dealt with that thing again. But where's the fun in that? Yeah, but yeah, I give the Battle Network games that they did all feel self-contained. Unlike a Pokemon game where sometimes it felt like you had to play both if you really wanted to know what the hell was going on. Well, not know what was going on, but know the whole story until their third in-between game came out. But yeah, these games, or the Battle Network games, are a good series, save for some of their side things. Like I said, the Battle Network one that you were talking about, that one isn't so bad, because it's not, it was just kind of, like I said, just, we're gonna add in some time shenanigans, to, make you interested in our new series, called Star Force, that is effectively this game, but for the DS with 3D elements, in the combat. Whereas, things like what was it, Battle Network, Command something or whatever, the like, we're going to make this Battle Network game, but it's going to be like old school Mega Man but worse, was just that. But let me just, yeah, nothing new shop. Let me upgrade her weapon a little bit further, because I've been trying to actually max it out. I don't want to overspend on that stuff, so I need to buy... Actually... That doesn't give much at all. I'll still spend it, because it'll level up. I don't want to spend the money on leveling up further, so we'll just leave that as is. I should probably... Problem is, I don't know who else's weapons I'd want to level up right now. But let's save, and because we're actually at about that hour point again, we're at the point where I'm gonna probably end for the day here. But like I say, I did just want to kind of give out the. I will, when it comes to RPG games at least, I always recommend, if you get a chance, to play through any of the Final Fantasy games, because they are well worth it. Same thing with the Battle Network games. Kingdom Hearts is a fun series, but can be rough because of the way the story is. It is still well worth a playthrough, but... understand that if you really want to understand what's going on in that game, besides having to play through all of its side stuff, you're going to have to probably play the game multiple times. So unless you're worth the commitment, it's not worth it. But I used to work, one of the jobs I used to have, I used to work at GameStop. And the biggest thing I told people is every game is worth a try. It doesn't matter how much everyone else says a game is horrible. You might find that you enjoy it. So, mind you, if reviews aren't great on a game, at least wait until you can either go into GameStop and get it pre-owned. It comes out on something like Game Pass where you can try it for free. Games are always worth a try. You just may want to take reviews into light before you spend a full $60 on a game. But I think every game is worth a try, and you might be surprised by what you find, especially as someone going into the game having just heard about it versus somebody going in hyped about the game from early releases, because you are both looking at the game in two very different ways. And for an example on what I mean for that would be Mighty Number 9. I really enjoyed Mighty Number 9 as a classic style Mega Man game, and I think they did a really good job with it. But I didn't kickstart it. I hadn't seen that it was a Kickstarter thing. I hadn't seen all the hype and all of the pre-released images of what they were planning to try to do. So I wasn't going in with preconceived expectations for the game. As such, I was able to enjoy it versus a bunch of other people who were expecting very different things. Hated it. And in a way, I got the other side to it. I'm seeing a lot of people who really enjoy Once Human. I saw preview images for it, preview videos and stuff, and for what they showed and what I saw, I thought it was going to be Remnant 2, but as an online multiplayer game. Instead, it's a PC/mobile game with survival elements in this kind of like Remnant-esque world with eldritch horrors there, which looks cool, but the survival elements really took me out of the game when trying it. I want to put some more time into it to give it a real chance, but it is a lot harder for me to play through that, whereas I know a lot of other people are really enjoying it, going in with different expectations again for what they wanted to see from the game. So always keep that in mind when you're when you try a game, that sometimes it's your expectations that makes a game less entertaining than it is just the game itself. I just wanted to, like I said, kind of put that out there since I had a chance to have this conversation with some people. But I do hope you guys enjoyed the stream today. And as always, I'll be on tomorrow. Though tomorrow I will actually probably be trying either the new Lords of the Fallen or Flintlock, since they're both on Xbox. I'm not sure which one I'll do for tomorrow, but that's what tomorrow's stream is going to be. Otherwise, I hope you guys, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed today, and I will see you all next time. Later.